everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know, my name is Zoe and this is just Zoe. But once again, we have our lovely Holly. And it's time for another reading recap. Finally. Yeah, so sorry we missed last month's.
We moved.
We did. Clearly, yeah, new background. So new house, new life, new vibes. But yeah, so this reading recap is going to be August and September's. We did pretty good, I would say. Like, the last time we talked, we said we were going to finish the Throne of Glass series, and we did.
We did.
I don't remember what was on my to be read. Cannot confirm if I did or didn't do what I said I was going to do.
I know that I'm reading my to be read because I know I had these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't remember what was on my to be read, and I know 2 of the books that I did read were definitely not on. Actually, I know all 3 of these were not on it because I just got all these books.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no way. Yeah. Anyway, let's get started on what we did read. The first book we both read and finished was Kingdom of Ash, and boy, was it the end of all ends.
I was telling Zoe that I just I feel like you're like building up to so much, and then Tower of Dawn
kind of messed us up.
Just pushed me so far back, and Tower of Dawn, I felt like I didn't even read it, we listened to it, and I felt like I was like slaving to get through it. So by the time I got to Kingdom of Ash, don't get me wrong, like I enjoyed the book, I thought it was good, and like I eventually probably will reread all of these because truly like phenomenal series. But it was just one of those things where it's like, I feel like I was like building up, and then I just had like a halt. And then I tried to get into this, and I wasn't at the same place that I was at the end of Empire of Storm, or
Queen of Shadows.
No, Empire
of Storm. Yeah.
To where I was at the end of Empire of Storm. So I was just like, I don't know. I hated that I felt that way, but I just kind of did. I would skip Tower of Dawn next time, personally.
I think
I get why it exists.
Yeah.
I just also don't.
I definitely liked Kingdom of Ash. I think Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storm, one of those is definitely higher on the list. Both of those are higher on the list of me and favorite wise, I think.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy Kingdom of Ash a lot. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars on Goodreads. But I kind of agree where like Tower of Dawn kind of like spoiled my appetite for the series. But I do think if I reread it, I will tandem read the 2 because a lot of people say that they like the tandem reading back and forth between Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. And then maybe that would give me a little bit of a different opinion about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I will say, regardless, I give it a 5-star of the series. I think the whole thing as a whole was great.
Oh yeah, it's a phenomenal series. Like highly recommend. If you're into fantasy, 100%, 1,000% you should read it.
Yeah. I feel like we could honestly do a whole separate video on our debrief of the entire series, and it would be 400 years long. But I honestly feel like I need to read it again because
I want to say I don't know if I could, because I don't know if I even like.
Yeah, I'd have to have all the books in front of me and like little blurbs that I'd written about each one because it's so much information.
I might listen to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like after I finish listening to Crescent City. Oh, and the first section of Court of Solar Flames, the dramatized version is on Audible now, by the way. I bought it yesterday. Yeah. So once I finish, because I've been listening to those. I've been listening to ACOTAR, I've been listening to Crescent City, and I've been listening to Twilight. So I think once I wrap up those, I'll probably listen to this on Audible and just kind of like because I do want to reread it, re-experience it, but I think also we read this at a time where life was so chaotic that it was like reading almost felt like a little bit of a chore because there were so many other things to do where it was just like I wanted to get
I didn't read it cohesively. I took
but I didn't get to like enjoy it, I feel like, as much. So but yeah.
Overall good though. What did you read after that?
Right after that, I jumped into Harry Potter. I haven't read these since I was like probably in maybe 6th or 7th grade, maybe 8th. So it's been a long time, and I've never read 6 or 7. Well, and I've never finished the 5th one. For some reason, I always get to the point
that's wild to me
where Dudley gets attacked by the Dementors, and it just got so boring.
Which is the very beginning. It's like the very beginning.
Well, it takes a second. You're like a solid like 100 pages in before he gets to Hogwarts. Okay. Maybe even 150, 200. Like it's like a long time before he gets to Hogwarts. And I just remember it feeling so slow. You know what I mean? Which it's one of those things where as an adult now, I'll probably appreciate the build more than I did as a kid, where I just wanted to get to the action. You know what I mean? I didn't care about Dudley getting attacked. I was like, okay. You know what I mean? So yeah, I read Chamber of Secrets, and it was cute. It was just like one of those things where it's like, you really remember how much these were written for kids rereading it. And obviously, like, the books grow in age as, like, we grew up with them. So, like, they will age, because, like, I can already tell the difference because I'm on number 3 now. But it's just so funny because, like, I literally felt like I was reading a kid's book. Like, it was like, I felt like I was reading a picture book because it was just so juvenile.
That's crazy, because I haven't read it since high school. I think the last time I read it was in high school.
Yeah. It's just, it's interesting.
I don't even remember nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, obviously, because I've read it a few times, but I mean, like, I don't really remember how it reads.
Yeah.
So
it reads like a kid's book. That's like, it feels like a chapter book, like, that you read when you're, like, a kid. It's so weird. I don't know. It's just, like, I don't know.
That's fun.
Yeah.
The first book I read after finishing the series was called Savage Hearts. Savage something. I gave it 2 stars. Couldn't tell you what it's about. I just know it's trash, so don't recommend. I read it on Kindle for free, so I'll insert the little link and stuff just in case you feel like looking at it. But I genuinely, I do remember what it was about. It's a mafia book. It's the one that's just like really like, no, it wasn't for me. And then the next book I read that was a physical book was When Books Went to War, which I know if you've watched any of our other videos, you're probably like, what the hell is that? Like, what's doing what? That doesn't make no sense. But I got it at Second and Charles in the clearance section for $3. And I was like, I kind of want to branch out. Like, I always read fantasy and romance, but like, this is a history book. It kind of follows mostly World War II and like the process of books being banned and getting them back, and how they made many versions of books and put them in soldiers' pockets and yada yada yada. It's actually a really good book. It was hard for me, I'm not gonna lie, because it's way out of my element and I really wanted something fun to read at the beach, but I brought this. And like, I read it a little bit, but like, you know, when you're surrounded by friends like that, it's hard to like read through it.
Be reading about like Nazi Germany.
Yeah, so I think I read like the first 4 chapters at the beach, and then when I got home I actually like finished it, and it was good. It was good. So would recommend if anybody is a history buff and also likes books, because there was a lot of interesting stuff about like specific book titles and stuff that I didn't know about. So it was cool.
The next book I read, surprise, surprise, I said the Chamber of Secrets earlier, sorry. Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, you did? I didn't even
Then I read Chamber of Secrets.
She said I'm reading them out of order.
Oh my gosh, just goes to show how bad my brain is. I read Chamber of Secrets, and again, it was like reading a kid's book, but like a little bit more advanced. Like, I think now as an adult, I really see like the progression of the books growing with the characters and everything. So, yeah, it's funny because not that it's fun to watch them after knowing the movies so well, or it's fun to read them after watching the movies and knowing them so well, because like we knew Lockhart was a doofus, but like he's so much more of a doofus. Like there's just so much more of that in Chamber of Secrets, where every time Lockhart appeared, I was like, oh my God, like, shut up,
go away.
Like, he's annoying in the movie, but like he's got enough charms where you don't just absolutely hate him, even though you do. But in here, it's just like, oh, he's just a menace. He's so annoying.
That's funny.
So yeah, Chamber of Secrets.
The next book I read was a Colleen Hoover book. I read Maybe Someday. It was my first Colleen book. And I can pretty much say I don't think I'm a Colleen Hoover girl. I feel like everyone is. Like, everyone I feel like
people are very divided. Either people love Colleen Hoover or they like despise her. There's not like a middle ground much, it seems like.
I feel like despise is a strong word.
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
They're not for them.
I know, yeah. So, Maybe Someday. Good book. I just feel like she whined a lot. There's like a main character, girl and guy, and the girl just be whining too much for being a hoe. Like, it's okay, girl. Like, if y'all gonna be this way and y'all gonna be cheating on your people, like, then do it and like buck up and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, okay. Like, it just was very like, I don't know. And then the same kind of like you know when you know there's a secret, but nobody will say what the secret is, and so we're just gonna keep like tiptoeing around it and tiptoeing around it, and then we're gonna have paragraphs of just like whiny, and blah blah blah. It was kind of like that, and I was just kind of like, I didn't care in the end. Like there wasn't anybody that I actually cared about. Like, you know when you need to like a character enough to care about what the, like, what even at the end when like she gets shitted on, I was like, well, I was literally like, well. So I don't know. Some people like it. I know I own It Starts With Us, It Ends With Us, whatever the heck it is. So eventually I'm going to read that one anyway because it's on my shelf already. But for now, I'm going to say I'm not a Colleen Hoover girl. Yeah. And then the last book I read for the month was Protecting What's Mine by Lucy Score. She has written something else that I've read, but I couldn't tell you what. I really like Lucy Score. I think she's a great author. I really liked this book. It was very well done, straight to the point, good old romance, loved it. About a little firefighter, it was cute. Good filler book, but I definitely think that like she's those like easy filler book kind of authors. Like there's not like crazy like depth. It is a series, but it's like one of the follows different people in the town type of series, which I actually really, you know, I like those. So I don't have to read the other ones, but if I do, like, kind of already know the context. This is actually the third one, so I skipped the first two, but even with skipping the first two and knowing what the other couple's end goal, like their ending is, because obviously it's talked about it here, I think I would still read them maybe like another time, just because she writes so well. So yeah, that was everything I read. Nice. Well, I know it's on your to be read.
Well, I'm currently reading Prisoner of Azkaban, and then I'm currently also reading Haunted Stories of North Georgia, I believe is what it's called. I'm sure Zoe can add a picture of it or link it down below or whatever. But it's actually a really interesting book. A guy basically him and his wife spent like their entire life going to different towns, or they went to every single county in Georgia. And if you don't know, Georgia has like the most counties, I think, out of all the US, or the most based off of like size or something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. We have like so many counties. We have like 160 something counties, I think. So this one's all of the North Georgia counties, and then there's a Southern Georgia and then Middle Georgia book. And so it's literally a ghost story from every single county in Georgia, which is really cool. And then my mom was saying that if there are any places we can go visit, I could write them down and then we can go on a spooky adventure and go like to some of the haunted places in Georgia, which is really cool. So I'm enjoying that. And then obviously I'm reading Prisoner of Azkaban. It's taken me like almost like 2.5 weeks to read the first 3 chapters because life has just been busy, psychotically crazy. But I'm enjoying it. That's good. I mean, it's Harry Potter. I'm not gonna not enjoy it.
Prisoner of Azkaban is one of my favorites.
Same. Yeah.
I haven't picked out all of my books for October because I'm trying to do like spooky books. I was gonna read Harry Potter, but I've decided not to, which is to be determined because, you know, I always change my mind. But the first book I know I want to read is A Witch's Guide to Dating a Demon. It's a book that I got at Target not that long ago, and it's spooky, so I'm gonna read that one first. And then another book that I want to read is The Silent Patient. So I forced my friend Bailey to buy it like months ago, and she hasn't finished it. And then my friend Shar, who's like our other little 3-in-a-pod friend, she got it and read it in like 2 days and was like, it is so good. And even for me, which is like spooky, you know, it's like a little bit scary, she was like, you should read it. So if I get this book and read it before Bailey finishes it, I'm fighting. Because it has been months. Now granted, she does have 2 kids, I get it, but like, read the book. But yeah, otherwise, we'll see what I read this October because I have no idea. I'm just gonna go with the flow.
And then I'm gonna read 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's it.
That's it, Harry Potter.
So y'all ain't gonna get much from me other than Harry Potter for a minute.
Maybe I'll catch up to her and finish Harry Potter when she does.
Yeah. I've got a couple of other spooky books that I'll probably mix in because I've got a couple of other ones, kind of like the Haunted North Georgia stories. That's like collections of short stories and stuff like that. Like I have like a Roald Dahl's like collection of ghost stories. So I'll probably mix those in for spooky season, but
that'll be fun.
I'm also really busy, so we'll see.
Word. Okay, well, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Go follow, or go subscribe to Holly's channel too. The link is in the description. Also, go subscribe to our Chapters channel where we have our Chapters podcast on there. Go listen to it on Apple
podcasts.
Yeah, I almost said Apple Music again. But listen to it on Apple and Spotify. Follow us on Goodreads, all those kinds of things.
And TikTok.
And TikTok.
And
everything.
And YouTube, everywhere.
Please. Oh, go buy Holly's Halloween merch, please.
Yeah,
it's
so
so
like
cute.
Spooky Ookie Cookies.
I
designed it.
So you get a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.